JVC's contour or their GoPro, so to speak. I like it pretty well. Haven't got to use it much, but it's got a wide angle lens on it, and so I went ahead and threw it on there. We're going to see how this ends up looking. Went garage sailing today, and what I've got laid out here on the Santa bench is all the spoils from one place. And I'm not going to say what I paid for the stuff, because I'm going to sell some of it. But it'll be at a good deal. This is everything that I got from the one place. It's basically a Lee 30th anniversary reloading setup. It's got the Lee 30th anniversary press. As you can see here, this is the older style. If you know anything about it, that's the older style of handle. I'm going to call Lee, and they will send me all the new upgrade parts for free to do that. And so I'm going to go ahead and give them a call, upgrade that. That came, got the powder dropper, set of 9mm dies, deburring tool, priming setup. There's some primers in there. These are wood shell holders. If you polymer ones, these probably came out of some loaded ammo. This is all brass that's been cleaned. This is brass that's not been cleaned. And this is more brass that's not been cleaned. Came with the Lee safety scales and some looks to be 124 or 125 grain 9mm hollow point. Got this Midway vibratory tumbler or case cleaner. Not a real strong motor on it. I wouldn't really want to use it for deburring or anything, but it's going to be real good for just polishing. All of this polishing media here, this box is full of it. And let's see here. I also picked up this brand spanking new Skill Sawzall. I mean, this thing is brand new. I will tell you what I paid for this. I paid $30 for this. And it's brand new. I mean, I don't know it's ever cut. It may have cut a couple of things. Actually, yeah, it's been used just a little bit, but not much. Also, something that I think I was as happy about this as anything. This vintage hand loading guide. It's got the old style Hornady press on the cover. And powder dropper, that powder dropper is like what I've got sitting over there. Let's see here, this book, let me see when it was put out. Hand loading, reloading. Well, copyright. Well, I don't see a date on it. Well, it's pretty old, that's for sure. This thing's got to be from the 90s. I'll have to look it up. The Gun Digest Book of Hand Reloading. Let me hold this up here. I'll have to look up and see when that product number was released. But anyways, I like looking at older stuff like that. That's interesting. And the irony is that I just actually sold almost this same reloading kit. It was what I started out with, and I sold it to a gentleman. And thank you, Steve, for buying that off of me. I'm glad I could hook you up with that. And now I got another one. And so I'm going to take this press and upgrade it. The primer catch door, little piece of aluminum is missing on this one. I'm going to put it on there, clean it up real good, lube it up real good, clean everything up, and then it's all going to be for sale. So if anybody's looking for single stage setup, and this is the 30th anniversary, remember, it does not accept the quick change bushings. This is, you have to thread your dies in one at a time, every time. But I prefer that, especially to start out learning, because it forces you to get real good at adjusting your dies. I got some other things that have come in that are off the wall, and I'll show them to you. Here's some more stuff that came in today. This is not at all, doesn't have anything to do with shooting, reloading, anything like that. But I'm going to show it. This right here is, I got this off of eBay. Okay. The camera I was using, didn't realize the battery had gone dead in it, so you guys didn't see a bunch of that. You didn't see the opening or anything, so I'm just going to show you again. What I was in the process of opening up was this right here. This is a Samsung Blu-ray player. The gist to this is that I was looking for a DVD player just to play DVDs on for my daughter, and I ended up getting this Samsung refurbished unit off of eBay, cheaper than I could have bought a regular DVD player for new. And this has signs of cosmetic wear, is what it always says, but it does. It's got a little bit of use on it, but it is. It's got an optical audio output, which is something I specifically needed, and it's also got an Ethernet and Wi-Fi capability, which means that this one will run YouTube, has a YouTube app built in, and it actually has a web browser, and because it has Wi-Fi, I can control this and all its functions with my Android phone, which is, if you've got DVD player or TV or whatever, your cable box even, or your satellite box that will do YouTube and things like that, if it will do Wi-Fi to where you can control it with your iPhone or your Android phone, there's a lot of advantages to controlling it that way, because you can go ahead and whenever you're using your phone to control it, I can start a video playing, and then while it's playing, look through on my phone and start populating the playlist as I go. If I use the remote and everything that controls the TV or the Blu-ray player or whatever, it doesn't allow me to go ahead and skip ahead and populate that playlist the way I want to, at least not on the fly. So anyways, there's that, and it is a factory refurb, and it was quite inexpensive. Now, next thing is I'm getting speakers and putting a radio in the golf ball, the TDCtactical car. I bought that car dirt cheap right after a big hailstorm. Radio's in terrible shape on it. So I've gone with some Lamzar speakers off of eBay. How I got my start was in car audio stuff. Doing custom boxes, big systems, all kinds of stuff. You see me every once in a while wearing a Boston Acoustic shirt. love Boss acoustic stuff. That's what my home theater is set up with. But either way, I decided to go with Lanzar stuff. Nothing special, but it's decent, and especially for the money that I paid. These are going to go in the doors. They are a coaxial two-way 6.5 setup. This is their Vibe series. These are 500 watts peak. They have built-in crossover, which is basically just a capacitor there. I'll read you the specs on these. On these 6.5s. Of course, butyl rubber surround, a 1-inch voice coil, which is pretty good for a 6.5. Captain voice coil, silk dome, neodymium, whatever, tweeter, which the neo is the type. It's a rare earth magnet for the tweeter, and it's a silk dome tweeter, which means that it's going to have a organic, a nice soft sound to it. Your hard dome tweeters are a lot more crisp, but they're not quite as organic sounding. Let's see here. So 25 ounce magnet structure, which is again pretty good. 250 watts RMS, 500 watts peak. The RMS power means it'll run that all day long. 500 watts, or the peak power, means it'll take it in small bursts. The frequency response is 55 to 20 hertz. Or 20 kilohertz, 55 hertz to 20 kilohertz. Subwoofers get down into 5 hertz, 10 hertz, 20 hertz, 30 hertz. So 55 isn't too bad. 4 ohms impedance, that's basically will concern you if you're going to wire a bunch of speakers up in series, parallel. You get into subwoofers and stuff. But for just putting a speaker in each corner of the car, you want to be 4 ohms. I don't see the sensitivity written down here or listed, but I know I read it. Sensitivity is supposed to be pretty good on these as well. But either way, pretty nice for a turd of a car. This is going to be a real nice sound system. Now, for the speaker deck, or the rear deck, I went with these, which are a little bit, they're actually a lower end model. They've got an aluminum cone, or aluminum impregnated cone, and they're a 3-way. So the way they're set up, these are 6x9s, and they're calling this chromed mica poly composite cone, whatever that means. Butyl rubber surround. They're 1 1/4 inch voice coil, which again is pretty good for something like this. It's a 40 ounce magnet structure, so a good bit bigger. It's got a 1-inch silk neodome mid-range tweeter, or mid-range, and then it's got a 3/4 inch silk neodome tweeter. So basically, what they've done is, by this tweeter over here being a 1-inch, that means it's going to have a little bit lower frequency response than this 3/4 inch. But what they've done here is they've added a 1-inch that will handle some of the lower high-end stuff, basically mid-range stuff. So either way, they're doing about the same thing, but here they're doing it with an extra speaker, and so good all the way around. The power handling on this one, even though it's bigger, is 200 watts RMS, 400 watts peak. So clearly you see this is a little bit better design. And then we get into our frequency responses. On this, we're 45 for our low end. On these over here, we're 55. We get a little bit lower frequency response with these. We go all the way up to 25 kilohertz on these. On this one, we're at 20. And that is a byproduct of having a little bit smaller dedicated tweeter. Whereas this tweeter's handling a little bit more of a range in there. So all in all, I think that these are going to sound really good in there. I just wanted to show you guys, it's something different. Usually I was doing gun stuff and everything else, and I figured I'd show you something different. I got a CD player on the way. I think I got a JVC because it had a little bit better compatibility with an Android device. Most of the ones out there showed they were set up for an iPhone or an iPod, which they're all interchangeable there, but the JVC specifically touted certain apps and Android features that the other ones didn't claim. And so I've used JVC stuff before for head units. They're alright, nothing special. My preference is Clarion. I've had a lot of really good Clarion decks. Good Clarion decks. But anyways, just wanted to show you guys something different, and I'll probably do an install video of the old turd, and I'm not going to be installing a turd, but installing these into the turd. So anyways, something different, and thanks for watching. This is kind of measly, but it's Saturday and it was a Saturday delivery. The noise you hear is 2 of those case tumblers going in the background. And of course I'm using a good old trusty Home Depot razor knife special to open. And I showed you earlier in this video the speakers that I'm putting into my car or into the golf ball. And this is a wiring harness adapter, and for any of you that have never messed with a car audio, adding a like an aftermarket CD player, what this does is you buy these for whatever vehicle you own, and these actually mimic the back of the factory CD player. So you can imagine this being a factory CD player right here, and then the wires that are in the car, they will connect directly to this, making the car think that it's plugged right into the factory CD player. Then you have these wiring harnesses, the wires, and it will tell you this color wire does 12-volt ignition battery. This one is the right front positive. It tells you everything. Then you take these and you crimp them together with the corresponding wire that comes out of the new CD player. When you do it, you want to leave enough extra wire, and that usually is in the form of the factory or the CD player's harness. You want to leave enough wire that you can pull that CD player out of the dash and let it kind of hang down, or you don't want it hanging off the wires, but where it can find a place to rest, like on the center console or something, to where you can do some work on it, but you don't want so much excess that you have to coil it around in there. But anyways, that's the wiring harness. These things run about $5. So well worth it, and much better off to do this than to cut your car's wiring harness. We're going to do a makeshift unboxing here, considering I'm in the middle of cleaning up my shop from all the water being inundated in. This is the CD player that I'm going to put in the old TDCtactical golf ball. It is a JVC. You know, it's this water coming in. It's one of those things where just when I was getting everything cleaned up and tidied up, I had to take everything and throw back on top of the shelves, or on top of my counters, because I didn't want it to get wet. Unbelievable. So it's the KDX50BT. If anybody wants to look it up. It does not have 4-volt preamp outputs, which what that is it's basically, if you were going to run external amplifiers, that would be how powerful and how clean the signal is going to them. If you're going to run dedicated external amps, it's really a good idea to have a 4-volt pre-out system. This is, I think, 2.5 volt. So if I ever decided that I wanted to run an external amplifier, like maybe I wanted to add a sub or something like that, which I won't. I don't want to lose the space back there, because I'd rather carry guns and targets. But if I ever decided to, this is a little better than some, but it's nothing phenomenal. It's got a Bluetooth interface, so I can run my cell phone and everything wirelessly through it. This actually has controls for Pandora and some other things that I have on my Android phone. And it's all wirelessly controllable through Bluetooth. There's a number of these CD players I found out there that lets you do stuff like that, but you have to plug it in. Whereas this one, I can just be around and control my phone with this, but I don't know if I can control this with my phone. We'll see. So, that's that, and we'll see about doing an install. Well, let's see. Do an unboxing here of a few little things. Had a run-in with the police yesterday at my range. This lady that lives near where I set my range up called the police and said that there were bullets flying over her house. Police came out there, and I'm standing there with my full gun belt, battle belt on. Looked like I was ready for war. Police officer rolls up and, nice as could be, just asked me which direction I was shooting and everything. We got to talking, and I showed him I was shooting frangible ammunition, shooting steel, and he called that lady right then and there and told her that there was no way that whatever she thought was happening, that I was being completely safe, and then proceeded to talk to me for about 45 minutes and wanted to see all my guns. There are nice, cool cops out there that do a good job, so don't forget it. Don't just group all the police into one group and say they're all bad, because there's bad people, there's bad cops, there's good people and good cops. What I've got here is from a company called Swabs. These are their bore tips. And what these are, this company contacted me, and they've given me these for T&E. They're so I can test them out, see what I think about them. Let me zoom in here and let you all see. They're pretty high on these things. They're real, they have a lot of good things to say about them. And so, let's see here. These are the 9mm ones. They're convinced that I will start using these, and you know what, and I say that I'm not mocking. Everybody's convinced of their own products, that's for sure, always. But, you know, these people, they're very nice. Had a good conversation with them. Lord, I'd recommend them just based off of their, you know, the way that they handled me as a potential customer. Says, I'll just hold it up here. Let's see, we got a little fuzziness. Hold on, get a little better. So anyway, what this product literature says here is it is for 9mm. It says they're perfect aim for a precise clean. My voice is kind of gone, I've been sick, so excuse me. Remove appropriate size bore tip from runner. This being the runner. Screw into 8/32 cleaning rod. That's a normal cleaning rod. You'll see down here, they're threaded right down here. Apply chosen solvent or lubricant. And what she did tell me on this was, she said, don't use heavy solvents like paint remover type stuff. I don't know why you use that on your gun anyways. But she said that on some of the things that would normally remove paint or something like that, it can dissolve the glue within here and deteriorate the foam that these are made of. But she said Hoppy's number 9, you know, frog lube, they highly recommend frog lube, which I do already. That's actually how they came about, how they found out about me, was because of how I am real high on frog lube. I talk about it a lot. Well, they like it as well. So anyways, use board tip to coat barrel, chambers, or other surfaces to be cleaned and lubricated. One of the things that they say about this, these are not bore brushes. These are not for scrubbing, they are for cleaning. You need to do your scrubbing ahead of time. But I'm going to use these, see how I like them. Right here, these are 556 patches. And these are 30 cal patches. And so I'm going to put these to use and see how we like them. I'll do a video on them and let you all see what I think about them, see how they're used, and if I do like them, you'll be able to get them right here. I'm going to set up a deal where I'll be able to offer you all a good deal on these. Where a lot of companies, a lot of YouTube guys will say, well, when you use my code, go to the company and get this discount or whatever. I make it simple for you. I just let you buy it from me and I give you the discount. You're already looking at my channel, you're already in contact with me. Why should you have to go someplace else? Why can't you just go straight through me? And it helps me out too, I'm not going to lie. I tell you all, you know, almost everything you see that I have, I purchased myself. These were given as T&E. The Q20 was given as T&E. Test and evaluation, if you guys don't know what that means. Here's the next thing in this unboxing. And this is the final pieces, I believe, to getting my heat treating kiln up and running. What I had got my PID controller set up for my kiln and for my my paint baking oven, and each one of the PID controllers, they came with one SSR. I'm going to go and grab a PID controller. Right here is a PID controller, and this has your buttons down here. This will allow me to adjust the desired temperature of an oven, and it will get it to that temperature and keep it there. I can adjust ramp rates, which means I can have it raise or lower for a certain amount of time, however I want, and it's very accurate. It's much more accurate than the old archaic cone style that the old kilns use, or even a digitally controlled oven, like a normal oven, like what I'm going to show you here in a second. They don't have quite the same amount of control as this. This uses fuzzy logic to where it can see how quickly the oven is raising its temperature, so it can adjust what it's calling for to keep the temperature from going past the point that you are looking for. Very, very smart stuff. These are solid state relays. These are what actually allow this little piece of electronic equipment to control all that AC power that is going through the coils. This one's a 25 amp, and forgot what I got on this one. What? I don't remember. This one was I want to say a 30 amp. I'll have to look and see. But either way, and this is the heat sink for the solid state relays, because they get a lot of heat in them. But anyways, I had ordered these, but each one only came with one SSR, which means I could have hooked it up to 110, but I'm running 220, so I needed 2 SSRs per PID controller, one for one leg of the 220 and another for the other leg, and I was doing that twice. Right here I had to pull my oven out to try and get behind it to suck up the water from where it just flooded, so that's why it's kind of pulled out of everything and it's all a mess. But either way, you see right here, this is just a Kenmore oven that what I've done is I've taken the original control box out. If you look right back here, you see my fingers? That is just a blank panel now. And I've taken that PID controller and installed it, and that is actually what's going to be controlling the original elements of that oven. And that oven's what I'm going to use to cure most of my parts that I have Cerakoted, Duracoated, gun-coated, and it'll be something where I can do my frog lube application and stuff in. So there's that. Now, the last little bit of today's unboxing. Got a couple of AR buffers and some takedown pins and safety detents. Some things that I've been trying to come across. I've got ordered from a number of places. I'm probably going to have these things coming out of my ears, but parts are so hard to get right now. And so anyways, that's them. This is just a standard M4 carbine weight buffer and some takedown pins. So it looks like now I'll be able to finish up that 300 blackout build.